Wally.
Eve.
Mo.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Dimlits, where we are not the brightest bulbs in the box.
Woo.
This is a podcast where we talk about Pixar movies, because why not?
You mean why not?
That was actually pretty good.
Thank you. Thank you. I have good jokes.
Even if it was you who said it.
Hey!
I don't have a joke.
Just say Mo.
Mo.
There you go. And today, for the 9th installment of our Pixar series, we're covering everyone's favorite little trash collecting robot there. If you're on YouTube, you can see his little figurine there on the table.
Little buddy there.
Yep. Wally.
You break his eye off, I'm going to literally throw this laptop at you.
Bet.
Careful, that's our sound.
It's our sound and our editing device.
It's fine.
Yeah. Anyway.
Everything's fine. Everything's fine.
Anyway, Wall-E came out in June of 2008. It was a very big hit, like most of these have been. Not as big as a couple of the other ones, but still pretty big. I remember I did see it in theater. Yes, I did see it in theaters.
I did too.
Is that before or after The Dark Knight?
Same year.
Same year. What? I mean, what month?
This was June.
Dark Knight was like, what, probably May?
Yeah, I was thinking May.
They were
probably.
definitely both summer movies. So I don't remember which one.
May makes sense.
But
I think it was May.
I know they were
July.
Was it really?
So this was literally like 3 weeks before The Dark Knight.
That was a good year, man.
2008. Yes. So, yeah, Wall-E is one that I liked a lot when it came out. And then over the years, it kind of fell off for me. I don't remember why. I hadn't seen it in a long time. And then this rewatch, it's so good.
Interesting.
It's so good.
It fell off a little for me.
Yeah, but you have bad taste.
I think it's
anyway,
my
for you,
favorite.
it's your favorite. You think it's your
I
favorite?
think it's my favorite.
It's fantastic, but there are just a couple of nitpicks.
Yeah, we'll get into.
Oh yeah.
So.
What did we say about in the last movie? If there are nitpicks, they're not really even worth it.
But no, that's a step. I
like taking his words and throwing them back at him.
I would say
Words.
that's a good point.
He's just Flintstoning it over here.
My
Mo.
brain just crapped out, but that was a good point. That's fair.
Do we have anything else to say before I do the further ado?
Let's get your spiel in.
Okay, so without further ado, Wall-E.
Wow.
Wall-E is a robot that spends his lonely existence collecting garbage, making cubes, and watching an old VHS of Hello, Dolly.
Oh, don't we all?
But when a new robot named Eve shows up, Wall-E is smitten. But when Eve must return to her ship, Wall-E tags along for the adventure of a lifetime.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Based on where I saw him come out of the map on the spaceship, was he smitten in the mitten?
Yeah, I don't know where he is. I forgot where he was. I watched this like 2 weeks
It would
ago.
make sense to be New York since it was clearly on the ocean and there were tall towers and everything.
Yeah.
I literally watched this like earlier, and I don't remember where on the map he was.
It doesn't really say.
It would have been cool if he was in Michigan, but probably not.
Can't all be as cool as Megamind.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Anyway. So I mentioned my little spiel about seeing it in theaters, and I liked it. I remember the opening, 20 minutes was so good, and I got into arguments with people because they didn't like it. They thought the beginning was boring, and I was getting angry. And younger Jared just dove in headfirst to every argument he could. I kid you not. If it was a movie argument, I just dive right in.
I could see that.
May I ask who you were arguing with? Someone I know?
Yes.
Okay.
And
I
again,
think that
I
probably
was
answers the question.
I was 14, and this individual was like 10 or 11.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and I'm just like,
Who
because they're like, I saw Wall-E in theaters. It was boring at the beginning, and then once it gets going, it's great. And I go, oh, I thought the beginning was the best part. And they're like, no, it's boring. And I push it back, and then someone next to me who's older is like, stop.
It's not worth it. It's not worth it.
And then I had other friends that were like, yeah, it's fine. I like the stuff in space. And then another friend didn't like the movie at all. But then not that they convinced me otherwise. I just kind of didn't think about it or watch it for a while. I think I was just tired of trying to defend the opening act of this movie.
Which you shouldn't be tired, because it is fantastic.
And then now that's like the freezing cold take is that the first act is the best part. Like everyone on the internet has said that for how long?
That is very true. No, yeah,
so at this point, it's like yeah, everyone knows the beginning is the best part of this great movie.
It really
like
is.
That's what everyone says. Just read Letterboxd.
Yeah,
everyone brings up the opening 20 minutes. Oh, the opening 20 minutes is like, so we're just gonna repeat it here.
Only take them 20 minutes to get on the spaceship.
I thought I thought I looked up
30 minutes. I thought it was about a third of the movie.
Yeah,
right?
it's like 30 some minutes. Like 39 minutes is when they first get to the ship.
Feels like a lot more than that.
No, it's like 25 to 30 minutes before they go into space. It's 39 minutes before there's actual dialogue that isn't like spoken by the two robots. Because they're not really talking much. I mean, like the first human to say a word is at like the 39-minute mark.
Which wasn't it John Ratzenberger that was the first human?
It might have been. Well, it's like go out
no,
into
that's,
the thing.
No, it's what's the guy's name in the video?
I thought it was
on the screen.
Other than that.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I was thinking of the actual, like, the first...
Fred Willard as
Which,
Shelby,
by the way, I remember the first time I watched this, that blew my mind that it was, like, real footage.
Yeah.
It really threw me off. I was like, did they animate him? What's going on?
I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little conflicted on using actual human footage. Like, it makes sense, but at the same time, I don't know how it fits.
It highlights and accentuates the different way that the humans look when you get on the ship.
Yeah, that's when things were real and not synthetic. Is that a good way to say it? Fake. Everything out in space basically fake.
I just wonder though. Do you think they could have just animated people to look normal, or do you think it would have not have had the same effect?
I don't think it lands as well. I think I
think it misses the point of the movie.
Because like it threw me off because I'm like, why are we seeing real people in it? Like it on this watch specifically.
I think it's also supposed to ground it to this is a very real thing that could happen to us.
That's valid.
Very subtle way to do it without actually saying it to you.
That's fair.
Basically calling out how mega corporations are evil.
Yeah.
Which it was made by a mega corporation.
Yeah.
By and large, they are pretty evil.
Kind of funny how that happens.
Yeah.
You have a mega corporation telling you that mega corporations are bad.
And of course, all the people who could afford it went into space.
Yep.
Because that's not relevant right now, is it?
Oh, no, that's not relevant at all. No, the rich are going into space? What?
What are you talking about? Elon Musk is the world's savior. Excuse me while I go play a barrel of a gun.
This is Elon Musk.
So yeah, it's still a very relevant movie.
It really, and
I find it more relevant now than I did.
Oh,
in 2008.
Yeah.
Did you watch this when it came out, Jake? Or this is right at the edge of when you started watching these.
I watched Up first, and then I went back and watched WALL-E.
I feel like this would hit a little bit less if you watched Up first.
No,
Up hits me like
hit
a
me
truck.
more.
Really?
I like it better than Up. I definitely like it better than Up. I definitely think I liked it better than Up at the time. I'm a sci-fi person, though. Like
that's fair.
You put Short Circuit in front of me, I'm gonna like it better than Up every time.
I love Short Circuit. Short Circuit's phenomenal.
I never seen it.
Oh, it's cheesy as hell. It's fantastic.
It's also on Disney Plus, I think.
Oh wow!
Is it really? Oh, I'm about to rewatch that. You know when to go home and rewatch this now if it's on Disney Plus.
So it's kind of
go to work.
Okay, yeah. Well.
It's kind of shut up. It's kind of funny how WALL-E and Up are similar in the fact that the strongest part is at the beginning, and then the rest of the movie isn't bad. But in WALL-E's case, it's still consistently good. From what I remember from Up, it's still good. It just kind of pales in comparison to the beginning. But that's next week, and I'll have to watch it again. But I just remember thinking, like, yeah, there's a couple of these where, like, the beginning is the best part, and then you get to Toy Story 3 where the ending is the best part. So it's like...
Short Circuit is not on Disney+.
Aww.
Darn.
I thought I saw it at one point, but they've been taking stuff off randomly, so...
Yeah.
Can I say, am I the only one that noticed this is probably the biggest jump in animation, in my opinion,
I also think it's the
that
biggest
we've come across?
Yeah.
jump in just scope. Like, they just went for it on this. Like, what was it before Wall? It was Ratatouille. Like, Ratatouille, like, you look at that and it was, like, focused. It's about a small diner in Paris.
It's not a diner.
Okay, a restaurant.
Thank you.
It's about a restaurant.
Respect.
It's about a restaurant.
The scale is smaller.
Yeah, like, this, like...
It has to
It's
be. There
just-
rats crawling around in the walls.
I just think it's crazy how they jump from that to this. Like, this is, like, spanning, like... Not spanning years, but it's kind of talking about, like...
Spanning galaxies.
Yeah. And it's just...
I don't know why they had to go so far away from the Earth. That was one thing. It's not like a serious like pitfall of the movie, but like I thought about that watching it this time. I was like, wait, why'd they have to? If all they're worried about is the toxic air, why'd they have to go so far away?
In theory, couldn't you just, like, orbit? In theory?
At least as far as what they gave us to work with, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. That's a good point.
I mean, the
Maybe
orbit around Earth was pretty cluttered with all the
Oh.
satellites.
But
That's
like you
valid.
could orbit behind the moon.
That's true.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, again, it's not a negative. It's just I thought about that for the first time I've seen this.
Then
like,
again,
3 times.
they were supposed to go back, and they didn't, because I wonder because they probably wanted to keep them all up there,
Well, no, they weren't.
and then if they get close to Earth, everyone sees it. And
That's fair.
maybe it just
Maybe
makes
that's
them
But
all
I don't know the way
back.
they wouldn't look away from the screens unless it turned off.
that's true. 700 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember my high school English teacher when I was a senior said the most terrifying movie he'd ever seen is WALL-E. Because WALL-E's a horror movie, and we're all like, what? What are you talking about, WALL-E? He goes, yeah,
about it.
because it's happening. And we're like, oh. You think WALL-E is a horror movie? And then now you watch it like, oh.
Oh, that's gonna happen. Maybe, hopefully not in our lifetime, but
Well, I think I have a better shot of it not happening in my lifetime.
but still,
I tell you, Dickey, you're 8 years older than me, right? Those are going to be the best 8 years of my life.
Yeah, you're right. It's like it's crazy, like just with the screens, like especially with the screens and the moving around.
And everyone
it's-
getting fat, and of course, I'm sure a few laps on the jogging track. Well, we have a jogging track.
or even those,
We have a pool.
Yeah.
We have a pool.
Yeah, like it's scary. Just how, yeah, like just said how it aged.
I will admit that I did fall into the camp of. I don't want to say obviously the first act is better. Like you said, that's an ice cold take. But I did fall into the camp when I first watched it. I don't really like the second half of this movie. I don't like when they start talking.
There's that, and it's like the movie is working so well plotless, and it goes so far in mostly plotless that once it sets up a plot that has to follow the normal rules of it, just kind of is like, okay, it's still good. It's just it was working better when we were just kind of sitting back.
Hey, and look how they worked in a twist villain.
yeah.
It's less.
this-
It's less terrible than others.
Yeah, but this is one of the first ones.
Yeah, but I feel like you can see it
One of,
coming.
not the
Yeah.
first one.
You can really like I
And I guess it really was not a twist because he's
No,
really
it's
just
the-
doing what he was told.
That's true. And it's the Macintosh, so automatically it's a bad thing because it's an Apple product.
it actually is an Apple product though. No.
Oh yeah,
no.
the second you hear his voice, you're like, how is this not the bad guy? Good.
Wait, no, or was it Wally when I don't remember when
Wally's the Apple product that makes the Mac noise.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to remember. Like,
Yeah.
you literally heard the bomb. I'm like, are you kidding? Like, this time, I'm like, are you kidding me? They
Actually-
literally played the dog.
So I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know that at that point that was the noise.
I'm pretty sure.
I think it was.
I'm
Okay.
like pretty.
I think that's the original. I think I read that's the original noise that the first Macs made as well.
Okay.
And it's it's a little Easter egg to Steve Jobs, who,
Which
again,
makes sense.
was the biggest financer at the beginning. Mm-hmm. I think he was the owner. Probably even said that on this. He was like the owner of Pixar or something.
I know
or the shareholder or
he
something.
He started it and then it took off.
Yeah, so
after.
that's why those little things are in there.
That's pretty funny.
That makes sense about the story, right? Like, once they introduce a plot, I think it gets worse because they went so far without one.
I agree, because when I was watching it, and we were seeing, like, when Eve and Wally were trying to get the plant back in, I found myself liking the moments just between them more than them trying to put the plant back in.
Oh, their little dance in space is great.
Are you kidding? Like, that was beautiful.
And the music's great. That's the other thing.
I
Thomas
love the
knew was
music.
It is so... But it doesn't... I was just going to say, it doesn't, like... You know how you can hum Toy Story or you can hum Monsters, Inc.? I can't hum this, but it works perfectly.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, I didn't remember the music at all. And then when watching it, I'm like, oh, man, this music's great. When he first arrives on the ship, there's, like, this... like electronic jazzy thing, and the distortion on that guitar part was so cool. And I was watching it with my brother, who's a very musically minded person, and when it played, he's like, ooh, and I turned it up. I'm like, oh man, that's great, because it's the ship unloading everything, and I was like, that's really good. That's my favorite bit of score from the whole thing.
I also love not to keep bouncing back to the beginning, but everything with him playing like the old movies and like that score carrying you through like the intro.
It's Hello Dolly. It's 2 scenes from Hello Dolly.
It's so it just works perfectly.
It made me. It's like what I got Hello Dolly in a box set a couple years after the movie came out, and I was like, oh yeah, that's the movie from WALL-E. And I watched it. I love Hello Dolly. And they even said, like, after WALL-E came out, a lot of people, like, the rentals for Hello Dolly went up, because why not? That's what happens.
Yeah, it makes sense. That's awesome. I've never actually seen Hello Dolly, but I feel like after this...
I really like it. It was a big bomb in its day. Overblown late 60s musical. Like, so much money thrown into it, and I think in hindsight, there's a lot of people who do like it a lot. There's some great stuff. It's funny because the guy singing those 2 songs is Michael Crawford, who originated the Phantom for Phantom of the Opera on Broadway.
Oh, that's
because I remember thinking like, oh yeah, that guy's got a great voice, and I read, oh wait, he originated the Phantom. Wow, he's such a small, kind of skulky little guy though in that movie. How does he? But then when you hear his Phantom stuff, it's like, oh my gosh, what a voice.
That's a cool Easter. I did not know that.
Yeah, and you know that VHS is really damaged because. Put On Your Sunday Clothes is like 15 minutes in, and that love song, I don't remember the name, is like 2 hours in.
Huh.
So that's a huge jump, because they do it for the movie's narrative. I'm just saying, like, wow, that's a jump. That's how damaged that VHS is. Also, I think VHSs deteriorate, so I'm not sure how it was still working, but who cares? I was just like, man, I love that it's a VHS. Also, wow.
Yeah.
Also, the 2 things that survived are Twinkies and cockroaches. That's a great touch. My brother hated the moment when the cockroach went into the Twinkie. It was like, and he's like, ugh. I laughed. That's funny.
It's really funny.
Yeah. This movie is also just adorable.
Are you kidding?
That was the big word I kept saying. Like, this movie is so adorable.
They made that stinking robot make me... I cried over a robot. Are you kidding me?
Everything.
I know. But, you can even, if you're watching on YouTube, like, look at this. Look at... If you can zoom into this guy's eyes. They're so freaking cute.
They're much cuter in the movie.
They are.
Because you can see through them into his soul.
You really can. Especially, at the very end... Like, when him and Eve are holding hands.
When she puts the motherboard back in him, and he doesn't know who he is because his RAM is reset.
Yeah. Like...
At first.
That hits you. I was crying.
And and the movie makes us care about these 2 robots who barely say anything. It's mostly nonverbal. It's just all in the physical acting and just the way that they... Like, Eve's eyes.
Yeah.
Another example... of using eyes to convey emotion, unlike that 2019 movie with the lions.
Where they robbed the life of all of them?
Yes, there's more life in WALL-E than there is in Lion King. And you know what? Wall-E, everything on Earth is dead.
Just like the...
Just like everything. Plant. There's more life in that plant than in the Lion King 2019 remake.
That's another interesting question I had. And again, it's not a negative because it's not even a thing that needs to be answered. But, like, why is Wall-E the one that outlasted all the rest of them? Like, how did they...
Yeah, my brother brought up the same thing while we were watching. Like, why are all the others done and he's not? And I go, I just think it just comes down to slowly they all start breaking down, and then he's just the one that's scrapping the others. So ripping parts off the dead bodies of his friends.
That's dark. Oh my god.
The point being, it just comes down to one by one they're offed over time, and he's just the one that was resourceful enough and adapted to be able to. Okay.
That reminded me, I have a question. And I don't remember what YouTube channel this came from. This is not my own idea. I saw this on somebody did a whole Pixar theory thing, and they said that the
is it Matt Pat?
Oh my god, it might have been.
But that's just a theory.
Film
theory.
No,
anyway.
this might have been from him, where he said someone said the Cars universe is what leads into Wall-E, because eventually all the cars break down, and that's why you see so much junk around.
But that
doesn't make sense. There's humans. I think you have it backwards. I think it's this universe eventually leads into cars.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. Yes, that's
the
what
cars ate the human.
Well, because the humans come back, but they don't come back maybe to the whole planet, and then on the other half of the planet is where you see yeah.
I did notice that too. Correct me if I'm wrong. Most of the people on the ship were Americans. Or at least sounded American.
Yeah,
at least
probably.
the couple that we follow.
Yeah. Which again checks out because we are more selfish and would want to just go up into space ourselves. So
you want to hit some, what is it, digital golf balls into digital space? Nah. Yeah, that would get old after a while.
God,
those chairs look comfy though.
That's how they get you, Jared. That's how they get you.
And hey, every food is put into a shake, and I don't have to move. Horrible. This sounds wonderful.
Why would I know you want to drink your food? I want to
There's no more cooking. There's no more burning of my hands and my face.
Cooking is fun, and you get to
Cooking is fun for people who are good at it. I don't cook to have fun. I cook to eat.
You can do both.
What's the bad movie with Chris Pratt and Jennifer Lawrence?
Oh, Passengers.
Passengers.
You know it's bad when that way of transporting humanity makes more sense to me than this way.
To be fair, I've never seen it.
It's horrible.
I've heard.
Is that where he wakes her up because he's bored?
God.
And then they set it up like he's gonna die, and then they completely betray his sacrifice, which is actually kind of interesting. And he lives, and they get together, and it is the most.
I think they both should get together in real life and go into space.
Then we wouldn't have, but then we wouldn't know how to get to the Mushroom Kingdom. Here we go.
Oh boy, we're gonna be the day that movie drops. I'm not ready. I'm not mentally prepared.
Unless it's totally just similar to how Sonic is. Unless it's just a media stunt and he actually does some kind of voice for it.
Maybe.
Just give him his butt back.
Right! They made him flat!
They made it look like my butt. I want to stare at my butt.
We'll call him Hank Hill Mario.
What?
We'll call him Hank Hill Mario.
Mario
Hill.
Mario's got a booty.
Mario Hill.
Oh, it's a tragedy.
Yep.
But you know
Mushroom Kingdom. Here we go.
But you know who is thick? The humans in Wall-E.
Yeah.
They are thick. I always like the... So, I know it's a joke that's been done in Futurama, but I always love the joke when they're talking about bone loss and they're showing the x-ray, and then all of a sudden it's just... their skeleton is so tiny, and everything is fat.
Breaking apart. There's just no bones anymore at all. It's great.
Well, that wouldn't be possible, but yes.
Well, yeah, it was just the picture. Yeah,
They did that with Hermes, I think is his name, in Futurama.
I watched a good chunk of episodes, but I don't know if I've seen that one.
Don't look at me.
I think it's one of the older ones.
Okay. But yeah, no, they like, and I just love the over exaggeration of how round they were.
I mean, 700 years of sitting would do that to you.
You really would. Even
It
just
does make me question how the captain even walked, though.
I mean,
It's more like a stomp.
more of like a wobble. He kind of stomped and
Wobble,
wobbled.
baby, wobble, baby, wobble, baby, wobble.
Mutiny! Mutiny! His delivery of that line killed me.
It was the entire time I'm listening to this, and I'm glad you wrote the actors once again, because I'm like, why does his voice sound? Who the heck is this? I know that voice.
Jeff Garland. Didn't he just get canceled or something? He got fired from the Goldbergs for on-set behavior.
Oh,
Something like that.
I think you were right. I think he
That's something like that
on
that
the
just
Goldbergs.
happened. And I've seen him in a lot of stuff, and he's always funny. Daddy
he's a-
Daycare, he's in Curb. He's,
I was gonna say Curb. I like the episodes I've seen of him in Curb. He's fantastic.
he's in Toy Story 3. He's the unicorn.
Oh, didn't know that. But I'm glad you said Daddy Daycare, because he's so good in Daddy Daycare.
What a garbage movie. It makes me
I
laugh.
love it.
All you have to say, the two words that you have to say to get to I missed.
Yeah, I missed
You instantly know what I'm talking about.
that. Laminated.
That's a movie that I haven't seen in over a decade. I bet you we sat down right now, half the movie be us cringing. Like,
Oh, you know it would be. You know it would be.
Sort of like the new guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Now you got me thinking King of the Hill. Have you seen the clip where they're in Mexico trying to get back into the U.S.? Have you? They have
No.
Khan in the trunk. And Hank and Dale are up front. Dale's like, I'll play cool. Let me do the talking. It's like, where are you from? Arlen, Texas. Oh, I've been to Arlen. Nice town. And then, like, he doesn't even say anything, and Dale goes, Rod! And he just books it. Khan bursts out of the trunk and runs, and Hank just gets up and goes, oh, as he's running away. It's like the worst look in the world. The border guard is just, like, staring at them like, what?
Oh my god.
It's so fun.
That's fantastic.
I don't know why I thought of that other than you bringing up Hank Hill.
Mario Hill.
Mario.
There you go. Oh, can we talk about how this is the the first Pixar movie, as the second one coming later, to use Sigourney Weaver as a voice played over the speakers?
Talking about Finding Dory?
Yes, I am. Wally did it first.
Yeah. Well, we mentioned King of the Hill. Peggy's in this. She's Mary, the female lead human. Yeah.
I didn't know that's who played
Yeah,
that.
because she's also in Hocus Pocus.
Yeah!
Yeah, that's who that is. Yep, and Sister Act is another one. We've probably mentioned her before
Yeah.
on here.
Oh my god, you're right.
Yeah,
I
when
Is
connected
she
those
the
dots.
pink sister in Hocus Pocus?
The pink one? Wait.
There's Sarah Jessica Parker,
Yeah.
Bette Midler,
And then
Kathy
And she's
Najimy. I think it's how you say that. I've never been
Okay,
sure.
I had completely blanked on her name.
She has.
She's the one that wears pink. The one wears green, and the one wears blue, maybe?
I think she's in pink. It's been a hot second since I've seen it.
I don't know. I watched the second one most recently. It's a much better movie than the
It's
first one.
very entertaining. And Kathy she has fun in this. You can just tell all of them are having fun. That's what I like about it.
Yeah, but when she talked to Wally, because she's the one I think that says, we have a pool? I was
Yeah.
like, it's Peggy! I just wanted her to say, couldn't she just, when they saved the kids, maybe she could have let out a, oh yeah! But she does a good line. It's John. Yep, John, get ready to have kids.
I know! That made me laugh.
They should have saved them, but, oh yeah! Like,
That
come
made
on,
me
come
laugh
on.
so much. I also love
King of
that
the Hill's still running at this point before they canceled it for Cleveland show.
they canceled it for the
Ugh.
Cleveland
I
show?
think that's what I've heard.
That's
Ugh.
sad.
But guess what? It's coming back.
It is. It's had a renaissance. Just saying.
It's a Renaissance.
Hillis.
Yes.
Now, you had certain nitpicks. The movie went down for you. Explain.
Yeah,
Or at least
so-
explain in your own way.
I remember.
Explain so that we can berate you until you agree with us.
I remember really, really loving it, and I touched on this a little bit, like when I was saying, like I wanted them to do more of the Wally and Eve stuff, like in the second half, and I think that's kind of it. Just comes down to, like, it didn't hold the same magic that it held for me, and I watched it like, I don't know the last time I watched it. It's been a while ago, and I just assumed it would hold that magic, but I just maybe.
So it's not a criticism.
Well,
It's you just felt different.
It is. I mean,
Are
yeah.
you're trying to put it in words.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Because right now it's sounding like, oh, this just doesn't feel the same as a kid, which is a valid feeling. I'm just curious what the criticism is.
And some things like
It
the
didn't feel the same.
robot turning against him. And they literally played like the 2001 music in it when he was like standing up and.
What's the name of the music?
Is it not just from 2001?
I think translated it's Thus Spoke Zarathustra.
It's the what?
Thus Spoke Zarathustra. I think the German is also Sprach. Thank you. I'm not good at German.
That piece of music, or I know it from 2001 Space Odyssey, but I get it. I liked it. It just, when I was watching this, I'm just like, does it really have to do the same exact thing? Like, I feel like if they didn't use the music, it would have maybe been...
But it was a pop culture reference. And
is.
Pop culture references make movies, Dickey.
When the movie...
Hold up.
Oh God.
No. You hear that? It sounds like a backtrack.
It's not... No.
Backpedal.
Retreat.
When I was going to
John
say
Kerry over here flip-flopping.
is when the movie is silly enough to...
The ghost.
Yeah, okay. When the movie is silly enough to use pop culture references, I like it. This is
not
silly
enough to use pop
so
culture.
what-
And
Yes,
it
it
does.
is.
So
I don't
what
think
you
it is, though.
deem serious
How
and
is
silly?
How is using 2001: A Space Odyssey music, whatever the name is, whatever you said, in a space movie that is for little kids, not a pop culture reference?
I know
it
it's
is a
for,
pop culture reference.
It is. I know it is. That's not what I was saying. What I was saying is when the movie had... It just seemed like it didn't fit the tone of the movie at that moment in time.
I thought it was fine.
Which is
I
fair.
didn't even notice it.
Which is fair. I mean, it's just me. You don't have to agree with what I'm saying. I just... For me, when I was watching this earlier, this came, I'm just like, huh. Okay. It's one of those things where you just like think twice about it and then it passes.
It was funnier than most of Mitchell's versus the Machines.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's true.
I still like...
And it's going to age better.
It's got a better machine than any of
Oh
the
my God.
machines in Mitchell's.
I still like this movie. It didn't have the same...
So it's not a criticism. It's you just didn't feel the same. And that's a perfectly valid feeling.
Yes.
You are allowed to feel how you
You're
want
not a dumb
to
little
feel.
13-year-old anymore. You're a dumb 27-year-old.
Exactly.
With
Some
still
things-
having bad taste.
Some things
But it's
change
just-
over 14 years and some things don't. But, yeah.
Okay.
That's what I was getting around to. But
Sunshine of your love.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know why.
also,
I tell you, sometimes
Brain.
your musical references are the cream of the crop.
Like corn?
It's
It's a big lump of knobs.
It has the juice.
It has a juice.
She has my money. I don't know.
What?
No
When
one
I'm
knows
in
the music.
need.
No one knows the music she referenced.
No, it's too.
Oh, she takes my money. There we go.
too deep of a cut.
I don't know. I heard it in a Weird Al polka.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
That's
boy.
where I get most of my pop culture.
What? In that.
But yeah, like that's all I had. That's all I was saying. Is I just it.
Yeah.
And I know
So
I
it's-
mentioned it
yeah.
earlier was the couple of like on the drastic chase to get the plant back. I think I was more interested in, like I said, even.
So that
watching
feeds into our whole thing of once there's a plot, it's not as good.
it. Yeah.
It's kind of better when it was just kind of, as the kids would say, vibing.
Exactly.
Again, it was working really well, and when you go 40 minutes into a, 98-minute movie, when almost half your movie is like that, it is kind of a jarring switch. It's still fun. It's not as good as it was.
it
And that's
makes-
nitpicking something that's great.
And it's the thing where like I can't like. I'm trying to put myself in the writer's room like when they're writing this.
You should never go into a writer's room.
Not with a pencil or a pen or a piece of paper. Hell,
Maybe with a
not
cork.
even with coffee.
Man, I thought mine was funny. You talked right away.
What?
I said maybe with a cork.
I was just gonna say like I just don't know how I would have changed it. That's what I like. I like where like that change is drastic, but I don't know how you make the theme of this movie hit the same with without that drastic change.
That's the thing. It's not like... So then it comes up to the... Does this need to be feature length? Could have this been a short film?
I would
Is
prefer
it
it to
strong?
be the way that it is.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
one of those
I think
things
it's
like...
strong enough the way that it is. It just leaves me wondering what it would have been like had it kept on that track, you know? Would it have been as popular? Who knows?
Well, the thing is, I
It's a
feel
what
like
if.
there's a really...
Sometimes there's no solution to make it better. You just can point out something that would make it better, but you're not sure
Yeah.
if it would be better. Because
Yeah.
this is what we got. And
Yeah.
what we got is great.
Yeah. No, that you hit the nail on the head there. I feel like they could have pushed the envelope more with like making it a little more adult theme, like more doomsday for us, but like then you lose kids, and that's not what Pixar is out to do. So
I wanted the humans to be fatter.
or you
So
could
that
go
you could relate to them more?
oh,
See, I can do that because I am fat.
Me too. You're not.
You can't be part of our club.
a little chunky, but
Fat people also have taste.
Dad
How do you think we
bod.
got this big?
fair enough.
Anything else
I have nothing else to say.
about Wally?
Wow.
Big props to Ben Burt for not only voicing Wally but doing a
How do you
million
even,
things
like-
for this
like,
movie.
How do you
Oh.
do that? Like what? That just baffles me.
We do need to state. This is going to be the first Disney Pixar film that is going to be a Criterion release.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
It was
I
announced
totally
a day.
called that.
Jake called it. I said, I doubt it. It's Disney. And then the next day they announced it.
That was just
Great
so funny.
choice. Great cover. I'm excited.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so funny. Literally, like, was it the next day or like with a week after?
Literally,
Like,
no, it was,
That was the next
it was
day.
the next
it was
day.
the next day because it was that weekend was D23.
Like that was so funny.
Oh, man. I'll take the L for that. I'll gladly do it because then I can
L.
own Wally for 4K because I don't own it at all.
This would be.
You also don't own a 4K player.
No, but I have 4K movies.
Then how do you? So you just have them.
Well, they all have the Blu-ray with them, and I'm prepping for when I do get... Because not only a player, you need a TV that can play 4K as well.
Mm-hmm.
But if I stock up now...
Does your TV not play 4K?
I don't think so.
Wow, we got an old TV then.
It might. I'm not sure. My TV, no. The family TV, the big one, yes, probably.
Okay.
My
Is that-
TV's this big.
Oh yeah.
It's my
that's true.
college TV. It's
Oh,
20
that-
inch.
The main TV in my house plays 4K, I think.
Mine does too, but nothing streams in 4K.
Did you watch Belfast yet?
No.
Did you bring it back yet?
I will. Next time. Bet. Next time.
I don't think he's going to bring it back.
Write that down on paper, kids.
No, he's probably going to shove a cookie in there or something.
Yeah, that's right. He can't get it out of his DVD player.
No, I can get it out. The DVD player wasn't connecting to the TV.
I have a
Oh,
fear.
so-
I have a fear of cookies coming out of my player ever since the Santa Claus on the sleigh.
Oh my god.
It's a CD player, a cookie dispenser or whatever. And out pops a cookie. I go, that looks good. Oh no. I hope that never happens
Just
to me.
make sure your computer never gets clogged with cookies. Make sure you gotta clear those every once in a while.
Okay.
They're generally chocolate chip cookies.
Anyone have anything else to say about Wall-E?
This is a good movie.
Great.
It's my favorite.
Jake's favorite.
Really?
It is
All Pixar.
more than The Good Dinosaur.
Wow, that took a while. Sorry, you didn't say it right. The Good Dinosaur.
There
Forgot the quotes.
There were air quotes. They were kids.
So, looking ahead, next week, getting towards the end of Pixar's that first golden
Yeah,
age, as
yeah,
people
it
call
really-
it,
really
2009. Only the second animated movie ever nominated for Best Picture. Up. Another one I saw in theaters. A lot of people, very fond memories. A lot of crying people.
Oh, he's whistling the mute. That took forever.
I was
for
like,
me
what are
to
they
realize.
doing?
We were just kind of letting you have a moment to make you feel important.
Ah,
But anyway, that's
Anyway,
all.
that's
That's all
next
next
week.
week.
That's next
Dickey, Where can they find us?
Oh, we are all over social media. We are on Twitter. We are on Instagram. We're on Facebook if you still use it. And I post our TikTok videos, and I think they are funny. And you can also follow...
You know what else? You know what used to be funny? That joke.
What joke?
We really beat that to death, didn't we? But anyway...
You killed it.
You two are the...
You murdered it and buried it in the ground.
Oh,
it's Ryan Reynolds and buried.
Anyway, you can, if you're listening to us, you can always listen to us on Spotify, on Apple, on Stitcher, on Google, on Amazon, on iHeartRadio, on any podcasting website. Make sure to rate us on those because it makes us look great. And also make sure to...
We're on iHeartRadio.
Yeah, we are.
Hey, write it on the thing.
We're literally on everything.
Put it iHeartRadio down.
Everything.
Then I can say the funny festival where Billy Joe smashed his guitar.
I'm writing that down as I'm speaking. And then you can also watch us on YouTube. If you want to see our faces, you can subscribe, ring our bell, like, and give us comments for our favorites, other long-running series, if you like what we're doing, and if you don't. We want to hear from y'all. Let us know how you feel.
So, until next time, this is Dimlits. We'll see you next time. Man, you had me worried, Dickey. I thought you were gonna have like a point.
Wally.
Eve.
Mo.
I heard you laugh.
Wally.
Can't do that.
Wally.
Eve. One word. It's one word. It's one syllable. Don't look at us.
I wasn't.
Wally.
I can see you laughing. I'm trying not to, but I have you with my peripherals, and you go. You're shaking.
That one was you.
That's me.
Wally.
Why did you do that? Wally. That's good enough. Go stop the camera.
I never said I was a good songwriter, okay? I just know how to play the guitar.
Still, like a don't let it end mixtape, whatever you want to call it. It's the opposite of a breakup tape, and you have an instrumental track. This just kills me. It's so funny. Hear all these songs you're singing about I love you, don't go, and one of them's an instrumental. Just I gotta fill out the whole side. Might as well put a minute and a half instrumental of dee 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 dee. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no!
You gotta come over here.
No! Oh no! Oh no! No! That's fake.
No.
That's fake. No, Jake. No!
No, it's not.
No,
it's not. No, there's no.
On Krypton, they do things differently.
There you go. Mo. Mo. Mo.
There. Are you finished? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Mo.